So I want to talk to you today about something called the chronic rehab cycle. So what this chronic rehab cycle is where people don't ever fully complete their plan of care of physical therapy, so they never get to the result they want. And so if you're looking at it as a graph, and this is time and this is getting better, there's two different forms of chronic rehab cycle. One is self-induced and one is therapist-induced. So you've got to make sure you don't fall into any of these traps. So a lot of times what happens is people expect that you're just going to get a straight line of improvement over time, where you're just going to come into a physical therapy clinic and over time you're going to get better. Really what happens is you get this cycling of ups and downs like this. And so there's two things that happen. One, someone starts to get up to the top and they start to feel better. Now they don't have pain anymore. So their therapist says, okay, you're good to discharge. They let them out of the clinic, but little do they know, they didn't get them to where they needed to go. This is the end point, the functional capacity I needed. So instead of this person continuing this trajectory that they should have gone on, they stop doing their PT and they start to fall down this rehab cycle. And then here they get pain again and they come back into physical therapy and they start again, but this time they're starting lower on this cycle. And so now we have further to go to get to where they want to go because we've spent more time. Now, the other thing that happens is a patient-induced version of this, or a self-induced version, which is sometimes when you're in physical therapy, you go through this cycle where you get up, you feel really good, you're optimistic here. This is uninformed optimism. Then you start to really feel good here, but then all of a sudden one day you're like, ooh, my symptoms are getting worse. And here you get informed pessimism, where basically you're starting to think, I've done physical therapy, I don't think this is gonna work for me. And then all of a sudden you start to go downhill more and you hit what's called the valley of despair, which is where you quit physical therapy because you go, I really don't think this is gonna work for me, I'm getting better. Where in reality, if you would have just ridden that out, you would have started to catch that upswing, because how physical therapy goes is it's cyclical. We never have a linear progression of pain and function in physical therapy. It's always gonna be this constant undulating cycle where you're gonna have little dips in the road, but as long as you're gradually getting better over time, then that's a good sign. And so this person who goes to the valley of despair, they also quit and go back to the beginning. And then they start on a lower road. And then they quit at the valley of despair down here. And then they keep on going down and down and down until they are at the bottom level of function. And then it's really hard to get back to where they want to go, because there's such a delta between where they are and where they want to be. Whereas if they would have just stayed in physical therapy the first time, on this blue line here, they would have gone to the top, they would have successfully discharged out of PT, and they would have gone back to everything they loved doing without pain.